Welcome to my dissertation. Welcome to my contribution to the literary world. We're gonna be talking about books as chappell roan songs. Now, my obsession with chappell roan has been forming probably since January of this year. I listen to her songs every day. I am a devout follower of chappell roan. She is my goddess queen. And I've seen videos about books as Taylor Swift songs, and I think I need to dedicate a video to my goddess queen herself and do books as chappell roan songs. We're gonna start with the iconic, I mean, so many of her songs are iconic, but Pink Pony Club. I think that Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage really encapsulates Pink Pony Club. We have our main character, Ada, who has fallen on tough times. She's a bit down on her luck. She just had a failed marriage. She has to claw her way up from rock bottom. The only person she trusts is herself. She's really on her own here. She takes this job that's in the middle of nowhere at Rebel Blue Ranch. When she arrives in Meadowlark, she finds herself in this dive bar surrounded by Hottie McHotster cowboys. Who are we kidding? She can't seem to shake the eyes of a handsome cowboy. When she leads him to the back of the bar, he leaves her with a kiss that most people could only fantasize about. She almost regrets that she'll never see him again, except it turns out he's her new boss. Pink Pony Club is about chasing your dreams, and maybe you don't feel at home in the place that you were born, but you go to where fate is calling you, to where your heart lies. The first lyric of the song is, "I know you wanted me to stay, but I can't ignore the crazy visions of me in LA." Ada wants to just like escape her past life, and so she follows her heart to take this job at Rebel Blue Ranch. She has a very traumatic past. Like, obviously her short-lived marriage left her with a lot of trauma, and so the line, "Black lights and a mirrored disco ball, every night's another reason why I left it all." Obviously in this book there's not black lights and a mirror disco ball. There's cowboy boots, horses, the Montana mountains. There's a different scenery, but it's the same like sentiment that the more time she spends, she starts to break down her walls a little bit. But at the very end, I mean, she's an interior designer, right? So when she's done with this job on Rebel Blue Ranch, it's like, okay, well, can I move on to the next one now that she has this love interest, now that she's found a place where she does start to feel at home? It's like, if she does need to continue to travel for her work, that's definitely a point of contention at one point in the story. But I would just leave you with this line: "Don't think I've left you all behind. Still love you in Tennessee. You're always on my mind. And mama, every Saturday I can hear your southern drawl from 1,000 miles away." Just know that like that is the sentiment that you get at the end of this book with the romantic relationship. So that is Pink Pony Club and Swift and Saddled. Our next song I have a couple different books for. So this is Naked in Manhattan. The first is Three Hearts Hideaway. This is by Luna Day. The cover artist of this book I've followed on Instagram for so long, and she started doing book covers recently, and I am living my absolute best life. It's so beautiful. In this book we follow another main character, Ava. Wow, I didn't put that connection until just now. But she stumbles into sleepy little Greenfield with nothing but a suitcase and a humiliating voice message on her phone. The last thing she expects to find is Roman, a tattooed B&B owner who offers her a place to stay. So Ava is also down on her luck. She's escaping a very toxic relationship. This is giving small town. It's Why Choose. It's a book about discovery. Like, she's always been shamed, and this voice message on her phone causes her a lot of shame, and so she really starts to question herself, question her identity, question if the things that she wants are wrong. They're not. It's that her ex was shaming her for some things she wanted to try, like sexually, in their relationship. She's just trying to escape for like a weekend, a week. She runs into this B&B owner who is so freaking hot. He has a business partner and his best friend. So she has nowhere to stay when she comes to this small town. She literally just like ran away with one suitcase. They of course offer to let her stay at the Airbnb, and this is just spice. Like, truly, this is 80% spice, 20% plot, in the best way. But the reason why I think it relates so well to Naked in Manhattan is because it's that line of new crush, high school love again, the rush of slumber party kissing. That's how Ava, our main character, feels in this story, because she's kind of being given permission to crush and to try things that she's never been able to try before, but she's like wanted to try before. So it's like really exciting for her in that sense of discovery. Of course, this song truly is about like experimentation sexually, so it fits quite well. But with Chapel, it's a little bit more about that queer identity discovery, and unfortunately this book does not have that queer representation, but I think it has that similar energy to that discovery phase. And I mean, this whole line, or this whole section, I'm gonna try to read this and not sing it because I've done that once now and it's really cringy, so I'm gonna stop. I know you want it, baby you can have it, oh I've never done it, let's make it cinematic, like that one sex scene that's in Mulholland Drive. I wanna know baby, what is it like? Touch me baby. That is Ava, like at the core of this book. The next book is in that similar vein of like discovery, experimentation, except it's very different from the feel-good kind of like sweet but very spicy Three Hearts Hideaway. This is My Dark Romeo by Parker S. Huntington. This is a dark contemporary romance. It's not like overly dark, but think like an Anna Huang Twisted Love series. That's what My Dark Romeo gives. I read this a while ago, so I don't remember our main character's name, but this is a romance that is about a tarnished Romeo and a reluctant Juliet. Basically, our main character is a Southern belle. It was supposed to be a harmless kiss at a lavish debutante ball, a clandestine moment with a handsome stranger. But unlike his name, Romeo isn't driven by love, he's fueled by revenge. To him, I am a chess piece, leverage, his rival's betrothed. To me, he is a man deserving of poison, a dark prince I refuse to marry, except she kind of gets forced into marrying him. Basically, our Romeo like tarnishes her reputation, which in the South, at these debutante balls, it's almost like Regency era courting. Like you're not supposed to be with a boy like unsupervised. And meanwhile, our main character, she's a thirsty girl, we'll say. She's out to have a good time. She wants to share a kiss with this guy that she thinks is hot, that's been hitting on her, sort of. He's like very mean, but flirting mean, but then also he can just be really, really mean. So they kiss, they get caught, everyone finds out. Her reputation is kind of tarnished now. He is known as like a playboy bad boy. She kind of gets forced into a relationship with him, marrying him, because now that she's tarnished, no other boy like wants her. But our main character, like I said, she wants to have a good time. Even though her love interest is not a nice man, she's like kind of into it and she wants to like play and she wants to experiment. And so I think it fits in that same vein like I talked about with Three Hearts Hideaway, where we have a main girly pop who wants to play around and like discover a little bit and discover her sexuality a little bit more. My last book to go with Naked in Manhattan is Silver in the Wood by Emily Tesh. This has the gay representation that this song calls for. This is that like will they, won't they, a little bit of that like back and forth, a little bit of that discovery of sexuality, but we have a gay romance that I literally think about all the time. Like this book, I've reread it twice now, it's always on my mind, like cicadas in the summertime. No, that is a line that I think relates to this book. I'd love if you knew you were on my mind, constant like cicadas in the summertime. Boys suck and girls I've never tried, but we both know we're getting drunk tonight, except make it two men that are so sweet and so perfect for each other. I swoon over their romance all the time. Like they're so flirty back and forth, but with that slight like sense of hesitation. The other line that I really think encapsulates this book in particular, don't touch, I'll never cross the line, so I push you down a million times. Even though this is a novella, so you do get the romance in this, but in the beginning, it's that bit of like hesitancy. The last line that I think really relates to this book in particular of Naked in Manhattan is, if I don't try, then it's my loss, an inch away from more than just friends. They're definitely flirty in the beginning of this book, but there's one character who like doesn't really pick up on it because he's this ancient forest man. And so it like takes him a second and he's like, oh my gosh, he's flirting with me. Like I'm so dumb. There's a wild man who lives deep in the quiet of Green Hollow and he listens to the wood. Tobias is tethered to the forest. That is our ancient forest man. He doesn't dwell on his past life, but he lives in a perfectly unremarkable existence with his cottage, his cat, and his dryads. This is cottagecore to the utmost perfection, like 10 out of 10 cottagecore energy. If there is one series that you need to read that also doesn't get enough recognition and it encapsulates hot to go better than literally anything else, the Heart Hassle series by Raven Kennedy. Raven Kennedy gets a lot of recognition for her Plated Prisoner series, but she needs to get more recognition for the absolute silly, goofy masterpiece she wrote that is the Heart Hassle series. So the first book in the series is Signs of Cupidity. This is a series that's an amazing like palate cleanser book. If you want something that is just so spicy, so fun, so silly, goofy, this is your series that you need to read. It's been a while since I've read this one. I believe our main character's name is Amel. It doesn't say it in the summary of the first book. I believe her name is Amel. She has this really cool job of being a Cupid, and Cupids get assigned to certain territories. So there's Cupids that are assigned to the human world. There's Cupids that are assigned to the Fae world, etc. So our girly has been in the human world for a really long time, and she gets so frustrated because all she's trying to do is make these people fall in love with each other, and she gets so annoyed in the human world because men, not just men, but mostly men, mess up the love matches that she's trying to make. She shoots them with an arrow, their love story is perfect, and then this guy has like wandering eyes and like goes and cheats, and she's just so frustrated. The other thing that she hates about being a Cupid is that our girlie is also very thirsty. She's like, when is it gonna be my turn? I want to experience the things that I make other people feel, not just in the love department, but in the physical department. I can blow lust into people's faces and watch the show, but I can't actually participate. It gets old. Trust me. The same goes for love. I can pass it out like sugar-free lollipops at a dentist's office, but I can't get any for myself. And she's sick and tired of it. So she goes back to her, like, Cupid's office. She asks to be reassigned. She gets sent to this, like, Fae world, and she stumbles upon this island, and there are many men on this island. I believe there's 3. It is a why choose. There ends up being more love interests than just 3. It's like a truly why choose that just develops over each book. Also, these books are really short. They're like novella books. So that is the setup, and why I think it relates to Hot to Go. I could be the one or your new addiction. It's all in my head, but I want nonfiction. I don't want the world, but I'll take the city. Who can blame a girl? Call me hot, not pretty. That is our main female girly pop. Baby, don't you like this beat? I made it so you'd sleep with me. Immediately when she meets these Fae men and she kind of like loses her Cupid powers. When she's a Cupid, she's invisible to everyone else besides other Cupids, and she can't be physically touched, like, at all. Even if she wanted to, she couldn't be physically touched. When she gets reassigned to the Fae world, like, something goes wrong, and now she can be seen and she can be physically touched. So immediately she's just trying to like jump these men's bones, and they're like, who are you? We don't even know what's going on. What kind of creature are you? And she's like, I'm ready to get down and dirty. What's it take to get your number? What's it take to bring you home? Hurry up, it's time for supper. Order up, I'm hot to go. I mean, truly, I could just keep going on and on. Okay, those were like the silly, goofy songs. We're kind of switching to a different tone. This next one is so emotional. Like, truly, I can't listen to this song without sob crying. And I have a book that I think meets that emotional level. So the next song is Kaleidoscope, and the book that I have to talk about Kaleidoscope is Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Mellers. This is a literary fiction that truly will take your breath away with the depths of these characters. Their relationship is so complicated. It talks about complicated love so incredibly well. I feel like this book will leave you with a sense of, if you've read Normal People, similar emotional impact here. Oh my gosh. I mean, just the beginning of Kaleidoscope, I think, encapsulates this book. Here we go again. Everything is fine. I guess we could pretend we didn't cross a line. But ever since that day, everything has changed. The way I write your name, the cursive letter A. Whenever it may be that you go on your way, if you really want to leave, I'll never make you stay. Whatever you decide, I will understand, and it will all be fine. That entire sentiment. So in this book, we follow a 24-year-old British painter named Cleo. She's escaped England. She's come to New York. So a few months before Cleo's student visa ends, she meets Frank, who is 20 years older than her. He is very successful, and he offers her a way to stay in the States, a way that she can continue being creative and paint. They have a very impulsive marriage, but they very quickly fall in love with each other. I would definitely say it's true love. They just have so much fun with each other, and in the beginning they complement each other really quite well, but they have a lot of complex relationships with other people in their lives. And so the other characters we get introduced to in this book are also fantastic. Cleo's best friend struggles to embrace his gender queerness, especially in the wake of Cleo's marriage, because they were best friends and he almost feels like he kind of lost her a little bit to her husband. So he's struggling with that. We just follow Cleo and Frank through the trials of marriage. There's also mental illness representation in here as well that comes into play. And it's so complex, and I feel like Kaleidoscope really encapsulates that complexity of love. You can still love someone and have to let them go. You can still love someone and maybe it's not the right thing for you to be with that person, even though you love them, regardless of how much you love them. Love is a kaleidoscope. How it works, we'll never know. And even all the change is somehow all the same. Turn into the left and right, colors shining in your eye, and even upside down, it's beautiful somehow. It's never just a shape alone. Love is a kaleidoscope. I just feel that is this book. I'm so excited for these next books and for this next song. Picture You, okay? This song changed my brain chemistry. Not only her vocal flips in this song, like in the bridge, oh my gosh, I could sob cry every time I listen to it just because of how beautiful it is. If you know the song Creep, I feel like Picture You and Creep are very similar. I think that they're similar musically, but it's that same idea of like, I'm crushing on this person so hard and I know that it's like getting obsessive, but it's just happening and I'm just letting it happen. You know what I mean? I mean, truly, draw the blinds, light every candle, slip off my pretty dress, down my chest while I think of you. Every night, both lips on the mirror, it's ritualistic, counting lipstick, stains where you should be. Oh my god, it's so good. So the books that I have for this song, it's actually men. Like, picture like a man was singing this song about a girl. The first is The Great Undoing, Magnolia and Julian. So the person who is singing Picture You in this book is Julian Hates. I don't want to give anything away because this is a 4th book in a series, so I don't want to spoil anything. I'm not really going to say anything more, but like, when I think of Lunch by Billie Eilish, when she says it's a craving, not a crush, that is Julian in this book. Do you picture me like I picture you? Am I in the frame from your point of view? Do you feel the same? I'm scared to say half of the things I do when I picture you. That is Julian. It makes me want to reread this book like so incredibly badly. When I made this connection, I was like, I need to reread this and listen to Picture You on repeat like while I read this entire book. Truly. I have a second book for this one as well. Same exact sentiments, same exact everything. The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I feel as though many of us have read this book, so maybe you already understand what I'm saying. This is Carden. Carden is singing Picture You to Jude because he knows, like, for this book, this is the first book in a series, so I can give a little bit more of a synopsis, but Jude is a human. She gets taken to Elfhame, and Elfhame in this series is dangerous, bloodthirsty, very, very difficult for even some fae to survive, never mind you a human. Jude is just trying to get her bearings and like hold her own in this world that is entirely against her, and we have a very cruel prince named Carden. It's almost like a bully romance, and Carden knows that he shouldn't like Jude. He's like, why? He's like upset at himself. Like, why do I like her? Why am I thinking about her like this? I mean, I could write a whole essay, truly, on this book and about this song and making parallels to them. But the one page that I will leave you with, if that doesn't encapsulate Picture You, I don't know what does. My Kink is Karma. I had to pick a book that was truly like visceral in revenge, because this song is revenge. Also, if you haven't watched the music video for this song, you're truly not living your life as you should. Obsessed. The imagery in this music video lives in my head rent-free. I want to dress like this music video every day of my life. Like, if you're wondering what my soul looks like, it is this. So for my kink is karma, I'm going to go with Nectar of the Wicked by Ella Fields, because this book encapsulates revenge, vengeful, ruthless villains as the love interest. There are undertones of being like very sexual in the song. I think especially the music video, the way that she's dressing is so provocative because she's like getting off on revenge for this person who has wronged her so badly. And this book is sexual. This book is a lot of spicy peppers. I will say, I don't think that this book shows you why we want our main character to like get revenge. Like, I can't wait. I haven't read the second book in the series. It's a duology and they're both on Kindle Unlimited. I really hope in the second book karma comes around, because karma is gonna be her kink in the second book. I'm telling you right now, I'm really hoping it is anyways, because I need my comeuppance after what our main character went through in this book. She is truly like the most innocent girl, and this ancient fairy man just takes absolute advantage of her, but you like love him while he's doing it. It's hot when you have a meltdown in the front of your house when you're getting kicked out. It's hot when you're drinking downtown and you're getting called out because you're running your mouth. Oh God, it's coming around. Yeah, it's coming around. In the second book, it better come around for this man. That's all I'm saying. People say I'm jealous, but my kink is watching you ruin your life, lose your mind, you dyeing your hair. People say I'm jealous, but my kink is watching you crash your car, you breaking your heart, you thinking I care. People say I'm jealous, but my kink is karma. I also feel like that section in particular kind of represents the love interest in this book, the male love interest. Does kind of want to see a downfall. You know what I mean? It's hot when you're going through hell and you're hating yourself. I'm feeling myself. It's hot when you know that you're caught and you're getting pissed off. It's getting me off. Truly. I think this is gonna be my last one. I do have a couple other songs, but let me know if you want a part 2. I might have different recommendations for the songs as well. So the last one that we'll talk about is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker, and I think that this relates to the song Casual. This is another book where I believe our male love interest is singing Casual to our female love interest. Like, if Khan heard Casual, oh, our poor baby boy with his broken heart, I think he would relate so well. So this book, we have an assassin main girly pop. Her name is Rave. Her job is to complete orders to never get caught. A rival bounty hunter turns her world upside down. She's found locked in this horrible dark prison, basically awaiting execution. There's a group of powerful fae that want to turn her into a political statement. Khan enters the chat. Crushed by the loss of his great love, Khan Vagor took the head of a king and donned his melted crown. Now on a tireless quest to quell the never-ebbing ache in his chest, a clue lures him into the capital's high-security prison where he stumbles upon the imprisoned Rave. Echoes of the past race between them. Okay. I thought you thought of me better, someone you couldn't lose. You said we're not together, so now when we kiss, I have anger issues. There's a specific scene that, like, in this book that represents Casual. Baby, you said no attachment, but we're knee deep in the passenger seat and you're eating me out. Is it casual now? If you want to know the scene that I'm talking about, it's on page 288. It starts on page 282. A couple quotes. I'm sorry, I have to, like, I can't control myself. They're like this close to doing something, and she says, but first you have to stop looking at me like it means something. He flinches as if struck with the metal tip of a barbed whip. You want a meaningless release? I nod, jerking my hips. Right. Well, you won't find that here, prisoner 73. His voice is monotone, detached, severed from whatever this is. Is he joking? Get up and go back to your sleep space. That's what Khan thinks about being casual, bestie. If you've read any of these books, if you've loved any of these books, if you have any books that you think fit a Chappell Roan song, please let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear about it. I will catch you in the comments and I will see you in my next video, friends. Toodles!